Good evening. Happening right now, debate is entering its fourth hour in the Senate chamber this evening. Lawmakers there are discussing a bill that would limit the use of eminent domain to build pipelines in our state.
KCCI's Ophelia Jacobson is live at the State House for us this evening. Ophelia, this has been going on for hours. What's happening right now?
Well, Ben and Stacey, they are still debating that bill in the Senate chambers as we speak, and it is a packed House in there with both supporters and opponents of this bill. Now, opponents of this bill who want to protect private property rights say they've been pushing for this legislation for the past 4 years. So this is a long time coming. Now, they gavelled in around 6 o'clock this evening. A lot has happened since then. There were multiple amendments that were filed and either withdrawn or defeated. And now, like I said, they are debating that bill. The House passed this version of this bill, House File 639, at the end of March in an 85-10 vote. The Senate was expected to debate the bill Friday, but after supporters and opponents of the bill waited all day, they decided not to. Now, what this legislation would do, it would restrict carbon pipelines from using eminent domain to build their project unless it qualifies as a common carrier. Now, what that means is that the company would have to agree to serve the public fairly and transport things like gas or carbon dioxide for other people or companies, not just itself. The bill also outlines insurance requirements for pipeline companies, as well as rules for hearings on proposed projects and who can intervene in Iowa Utilities Commission cases. Now, some Republicans are divided over this specific piece of legislation, but they ultimately agree that private property rights need to be protected.
You know, when it says our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain, there's not an asterisk there. It doesn't say unless we're threatened by $1 billion lawsuit. I mean, what does that language mean? I'll just end by saying this: as much as I talk about the Constitution, as important as I think it is, because it's our rule.
Now, it's important to note that the bill that they are debating right now is the identical one to what the House passed. So if the Senate does decide to pass this legislation tonight, it would head to the governor's desk for a signature. And this is a key piece of legislation because there were a dozen GOP state senators that said that they would not vote on a state budget until GOP leadership took up this piece of legislation. And the legislative session can't end until that state budget is passed. Just to put it into context, the legislative session was supposed to end on May 2nd. But obviously we are still in the thick of it here tonight. We're live at the State House. Ophelia Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.